Hey, what is going on, guys? It is SpookieSTL here, and I love all you wonderful ghouls. And today we're going to be doing a story time. I haven't done one of these in a very long time, and I believe this is going to be the 11th one, the 11th story time. So I'm super excited. And today's a little bit different. It's going to be a story time that's fairly short. It has a very impactful meaning to me, and I think I was thinking about this story because I was talking to my friend and reminiscing about when I used to live in New Jersey and back in elementary school. So this is the story basically about not something that particularly that I will always remember as something that happened to me, but something when I think back on, it's like as I grow older I realize what was the meaning behind what happened. So this is the story of how a teacher showed me that anything is possible, and to believe and to keep a child's dream is very important per se. So I don't know what I'm gonna name this video, but without further ado, this is the story. So let's start back in elementary school. I believe it was 3rd, 4th grade, maybe even 5th grade. I used to go to a small little school that was in the shape of an E in somewhere in a small town in New Jersey. And I absolutely love this elementary school. I still talk to some of the people that I even know there, and they remember this. There was a game basically in our PE class that had a rock climbing wall. Now, not a lot of schools got a rock climbing wall, but we did it. It wasn't long, but it was very wide, and it had like 5 different sections. And one of our, was it like a PE teacher or general ed, or not general ed, but like gym teacher, his name was Mr. Grillo, almost like armadillo. So I always used to think he was like an armadillo once upon a time, but I had a very overactive imagination when I was a child. So Mr. Grillo had got this rock climbing wall, or somehow he got it inside, whatever, and all of us were super excited. Now imagine all these kids, just elementary kids, just so excited for this rock climbing wall. We didn't know what we were gonna do. I love rock climbing. I used to go to the amusement parks, and like that was my thing. Like I was the best rock climber in these amusement parks. I used to go to the top and ring the bell. But this wasn't for that reason. He brought it in for a game. The game was, can't remember what it was. Basically you had 2 scarves, like they were almost like cloths that you would put in your pockets, and basically there would be 5 or 4 students along the rock climbing wall, and what you would have to do is strategically grab and pick the scarves off of your enemies, or your enemies. Yeah, I saw them as enemies and targets. They weren't other players or like other teams. It was just enemies and targets. I'm a whoop that ass. And that's how I used to do things when I was a kid. So basically you would have to pull both scarves off, and if you had both your scarves pulled out of your pockets, you were eliminated. And it was kind of like an elimination game, and it was really fun. The worst part was being in the middle, because you would have 2 people next to you. Like it was 1 person on the farthest left and 1 on the farthest right, and then 2 people in the middle, and it was pretty bad. For me, I was excited. I was like, oh yeah, I love this. I love the competition. Like at the time I was doing karate, and I thought I was like, oh, super crazy and all that nonsense. But I said, you know what, let's do this. And so I winded up doing exceptionally well in this game, and I was always put in the middle. I always like being in the middle. Like I would juke people out, and I had this technique, and I used to hold my hand like this, and it got me the nickname at that time, the Cobra. Now I had like 3 nicknames growing up back in New Jersey. One of them was Rabbit, from a girl that I used to like who used to punch me all the time. The other one was Cobra later on, because I used to basically snatch people's scarves out like this and kind of move around, so I was called the Cobra. I used to do this technique all the time, and I think we did this game for like 3 days straight, and then we did a competition, and it got all the way to the point where it was like brackets and eliminations. And so I got to the final bracket, and the final bracket was you had to face the teacher, Mr. Grillo, the armadillo man who had scruffle on his face and who looked mean and tough and was super nice, kind-hearted at times, but you couldn't tell which way he was going. So it was up to me, for the students' sake, to beat our gym teacher. Now there were some people rooting for him, but a lot more rooting for me, because they knew I was the Cobra, right? And I'm not making this up, this is a true story. So I sat there And I was like, alright, let's do this. Got up on the rock climbing wall. I had 2 pink scarves. I remember this very distinctively. And I'm looking at my teacher. He's on the right side. Now, there are no other rock climbing walls. There's just the 2 middles. So there was nowhere really to go. You either bend down, up, or whatever. And I always thought about it. When I was trying to pull, he was juking me out. And I was trying to attack him and stuff. And he was fast, but at the same time, in my head as a little kid, I thought I was doing really well. I'm like, oh, I could do this. I ended up grabbing a scarf and I pulled it off. It was weird for me because I was like, oh man, I'm really doing good. Like I'm winning. I'm doing something right? And so I did it. I pulled it down and everyone's like, yeah, go Cobra. Yeah, you're doing good. Go get him, Branden. I was filled with cheer and I honestly, I felt amazing. In my eyes, I can imagine that the teacher who was looking at me, Mr. Grillo, kind of saw that light in my eyes. And as a teacher, he could have easily like grabbed both my scarves and it would have been the game over, right? Now I think about it when I'm older, like there was no way I possibly could have won against him. But like he kept the game going. He kept it going alive. So when he had one last scarf, I almost grabbed it. I kind of touched it and pulled it off a little. It was like hanging off a little. He knew that it was gonna fall out eventually. He kept the game going. Like he never really he would kind of grab one of my scarves and then make believe he kind of like, you know, would juke me out and stuff. And it was kind of just trying to keep it all alive in the hope and the belief that anybody could go against something bigger in life and, you know, keep moving forward. At a very young age, I would imagine if he would have beat me then and there, it probably would have crushed my dreams and stuff. It probably would have crushed all the students. Like he heard all the students calling my name and he knew as a teacher, like, this is what teaching is all about. You know, seeing them grow, seeing them believe in themselves. And honestly, when his scarf fell out and hit the ground, what happened was I jumped off. I was so excited. Everybody was happy for me. They're like, yeah, go Cobra. And we ran around the whole entire gymnasium just cheering and stuff. And when we came back, you know, I shook my teacher's hand. We had a fun little talk and whatever. And now I think about it, it's a very distinctive memory. One, because I got that nickname back in the day. Nobody calls me that anymore. But to myself, I'll call myself that. It's back then, like being older and stuff. Like I know there's a lot of realism to what happens in life. At a very young age, especially a kid, to keep that belief going was something so strong for me. And it was incredible. And I don't know, I think about it now, I'm like, wow, he did all that without me even knowing. And now that I think back to it, like, gosh, I don't know, maybe 15 years later or something, because I'm 21 right now. That would make me 6 now. Maybe like 11 years. I don't know, I got my years mixed up. But it's something incredible. And these are teachers I wish I could go back to. I'm like, thank you for teaching me this life lesson, because now I realize what you were trying to show me back then. But like I said, it was a very short story about belief and keeping your eyes open and being very optimistic and just, you know, children and stuff. And I haven't really touched on a topic like that. Touched on a dream kind of topic like 2 years ago, but I wanted to share this story with you. I haven't done a story time in a long time, and this isn't a crazy party or like a college story like I normally do, but this is just something from my past that taught me a life lesson, or one of the greatest life lessons. Maybe that'll be the title. And I felt like sharing it with you guys, so always be optimistic and share what you know, pass it on to people, and never drag people down because you were in a place learning things. And we aren't experts yet, okay? We aren't just masters in our craft yet. We are all still learning, so keep going, especially in the new year. So I love you guys. My name is SpookieSTL, or Branden for you, for those of you who don't know me. I hope you guys are having a wonderful year and a lovely day. At the end of the day, don't forget, you already know, to share the love. Wow.